welcome to Bestie Hotline.
Bring, bring.
I'm Kate Reeves.
And I'm Gemma Peanut. Happy Friday, folks. It's the 4th of July
Happy 4th of July.
for our American DLs, or perhaps you're an Aussie living in the USA.
I've got an American.
You
in my
do?
life,
Oh my God,
in my
American.
house.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you have one too. You've got
I
a
do.
sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law. Happy 4th of July.
We are drowning in Americans. So happy to all those who celebrate. What is 4th of July?
Independence Day.
From who? England?
Probs.
Usually it is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
often.
They were the colonizers.
They were indeed.
Okay. That shows our history. Wait, it like Hamilton?
Yes, like the price of tea.
Like the Battle
tax.
of Yorktown, 1771. That one?
Yeah, I think so. I've
Great.
always assumed so. Can someone correct me if I've learnt this wrong?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I see George Washington smile that day.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Well, good
before
for you
we
guys.
fall down a Hamilton train on a Friday, Revsy,
Yeah.
the lemon tree is throbbing
She
with
throbbing.
it's off season, it's winter, but the lemons are dropping. They're ripe for the taking.
It's a freaky Frankentree.
And DLs need problems solved, and we are here to turn it all into juicy lemonade.
Who called the Bestie Hotline today, Jen?
Our DL says, I've just recently found out my husband has visited a brothel. He paid $100 for a massage. I'm not sure this gets you much, but judging by the text message booking confirmation I saw, which said, come around the back door, sexy, I'm assuming it was with a happy ending. We've been married for over 10 years, 3 children, and I believe we are happily married. This isn't the first time this has happened, but the first time was many, many years ago, and he swore that it would never happen again. And yet, I've just seen this. I'm looking for advice. How would you handle this? There's no trust there anymore, and I'm just so disappointed. He doesn't know I know, but he is my everything, my soulmate.
Oh.
But can I move past this again?
Yes, you can. Like people do. You know what?
I'm jaded.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there, but
Okay.
like RDL, I have been cheated on before in a past relationship, and I forgave. And it was early on in our relationship. I think we were together 3 years, which is not that long, but in the context of the length of our overall relationship, it was in the early stages. And I've heard that verbal promise of, I'll never do it again. Like, I want to make things work. I'm sorry. And you believe them and you give them that second chance. When that promise gets broken and that trust is destroyed again,
Yeah.
it is trickier to come back from. Because you start to wonder, is this person actually capable of staying faithful, true, and honest with me? Maybe you're open to having a conversation about his needs.
I was going to say,
Yes.
now I'm not saying you have to fulfill those needs,
No.
but you're like, I'm just trying to listen to the data she's given us, which
Yes.
is he's her everything. She's happy. He's her soulmate. This incident, while awfully hurtful and deceitful,
Yes.
is not who he is, and it's not a comment on your relationship. However, he clearly has some
Or I see it as a comment on their relationship.
really.
Yes.
Well, the deceit part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is everything
It
in
is
a
everything.
relationship.
But what she's asking us, can I move past this?
Yeah.
The question I have for you in return is, are you open to hearing about why he wants to go?
Yes.
Because that's, if you want to get past it, that's the part you're going to have to meet with compassion and understanding.
I agree.
And then you're going to have to work out, is it that he likes secrets? Because that's one thing. Is it that he likes sex workers? That's another thing. Is it that he's a sex addict and he can't possibly get it from one person? Is it, you know what I mean? There's like so many different versions of this.
You always have to try and look behind the behavior. What's going on behind this behavior? Exactly what Rev said. What has led them to do this deceitful act and not feel comfortable enough to share with you?
Yeah.
The thing about relationships, they come in all different shapes and sizes.
right.
And I think what's really cool about being in 2025 is people are really putting that under the microscope and reevaluating. Well, you know, if we declared till death at an altar. But what does that mean? What does that look like? How do we make sure we satisfy our own personal needs? How do we meet each other in the middle? How do we maintain the sacredness of trust so that we don't hurt one another? Something has
Or
obviously
put anyone in danger.
100%. Yes,
Which
of
you
course.
need to say about sex workers. If
Totally.
someone wants to visit sex workers, you have to have some pretty big conversations and boundaries about safety.
100p.
Yeah.
I don't think it's helpful to not confront this situation because that shit is just going to fester under the surface. You might think you can, do I just ignore it? I'm happy. He's my soulmate. He's my everything. I won't confront it, but it will leak out the sides. It will leak out of your pores and it will come out at the most inconvenient time when you weren't expecting it, thinking that you could keep that volcano from erupting. That's bullshit.
Yes.
It sucks for our DL. She's uncovered this piece of information and now unfortunately has to enact something, do something about it.
That's the fucked thing about
And
these
it's really
secrets.
unfair because this has happened to you. You haven't done anything.
Can I say though, and I hope this is taken with the comfort I offer it with, I didn't know this before the podcast, but this is more common than we all think because we have had, how many over the years? So many DLs tell us a similar story. But I think it's one of those little pretend guises that we live under. Like, oh, I know some men do that, but not the men I know or whatever. It's like it is a booming industry, you guys. There are a lot of sex workers in every town, in every city. You know what I mean? Like there is a huge demand and a lot of people go to them and a lot of those people are married and a lot of those people do it in secret. Now, I'm not saying that makes it right. I'm also not saying it makes it wrong. Everyone has their own rules within their relationship. I also believe you can be committed to someone, deeply committed, and that doesn't mean you only have sex with them as long as everybody knows and
Totally.
everybody's consensual and comfortable. So I'm just saying, please don't think you're a freak or he's a freak or it's so, can you believe it? Like this happens. Doesn't make it right, but I'm with Jem. You should confront him over it because you know and you can't unknow. And how would you feel if tomorrow night it happened again?
Totally. And DL, I just want to acknowledge the weight behind calling someone your everything and soulmate because that is not something to be taken lightly.
No.
Like the devastation and the grief that you would go through in leaving this marriage and therefore losing someone who means that much to you. Like we can't ignore that
No.
for a second. And something that I think is important to mention, and this is often unspoken, that we live in a society right now where women are trying to empower women. And there's a lot of rhetoric around, we're not taking this bullshit. We don't need men. We can stand on our 2 feet. Like, fuck that bullshit. Fuck the patriarchy. And sometimes there's a pressure to leave a relationship when you learn this information because the internet will tell you, well, you've been deceived. You don't need him. He's disrespected you. Fuck him. But actually, you have the choice.
You do.
And it's just as empowering to choose to stay, to work through it and forgive.
It's just personal. Like
it is so personal.
we've
but
talked about this many times. Like we have really interesting, differing things we could get over or not get over, me and Jem. And we are two people who have, you know, very similar lives and very similar values in some ways and then like completely different in the other. And it's just about what I could live with or what I couldn't live with, what I could sit with, what I could forgive, what I couldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Like for you, the deception's the biggest part, right?
100p.
Yeah. For me, it's...
Because I've been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I sometimes think it's easy for people to say from the sidelines, oh, yeah, I could move past that until your brain is consumed with what happened.
The obsessive thoughts.
When you weren't there. And some people, and this is what I've learned as well, is some people are desperate to know every detail and some people don't want to know any details.
Yeah. It's incredibly personal what you can withstand or what you think is worth it.
And no one can tell you what you can and should and shouldn't withstand. The thing is, I find like when you tell your girlfriend something like this, the normal reaction is, oh my God, leave him.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy when you're on the sidelines or out the window looking into someone else's life to just say that. But there's so much more
100%.
That's involved. And plus you've got children together, you know.
I would be really careful about who you confide in
Definitely.
on this one. which I wouldn't normally say. But yeah, I think a lot of people will project their own experiences and their own what they would do
Yes.
in this scenario. Look, if your marriage had been hard for 10 years and you weren't sure and should I leave, should I not? It's a completely different story. You love this man, he's your soulmate, he's your everything. It's just a different dilemma.
It is.
And I'm so sorry you have to navigate this and that you've been deceived and your trust has been broken in this way. It's really heartbreaking.
Very heartbreaking. We extended enormous empathy. I mean, in some ways it's even more heartbreaking that you view this man as your everything and the love of your life, because I think it makes it even harder.
I'm not empathizing.
Yeah.
But can I also offer up, he might think of you. He might absolutely still think of you as his soulmate and the love of his life. Men have very different brains with this stuff.
Yeah. They can compartmentalize.
It's very different. So I think if you it's up to you what you can take on. But if you do want to move past it, there will be ways that you can seek to understand.
Yeah. It's so boring and repetitive to say this because I feel like this is how Revs and I end most bestie hotlines, but it's got to start with a conversation, because then you can look at all the different pathways forwards, either together or separately, and just bring the truth to light, not just from your perspective, but from him as well.
Yeah.
To know what he's thinking and feeling, because there's stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And it might surprise you. As Rev said, he might view you as exactly the same and would be devastated, but maybe there's an opportunity for repair.
And for growth.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the outcome is. You go separate ways or you stay together, but there's huge opportunity for growth for everybody. So
100p.
I'm really feeling for you, babe.
We love you. We hope you have a lovely weekend ahead, everyone, including and especially our beautiful DL.
We'll be back in your ears on Tuesday with a regular episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.